us now is a jazz legend who's not only regarded as an expert guitar improviser, but also as a vibrant and popular entertainer, equally at home playing rock, pop, or indeed rhythm and blues. Now, he sang in his first nightclub at the age of 8 and had his first record cut by the ripe old age of 10. Now, as you probably know, since then, he's picked up an incredible 8 Grammy Awards for both his instrumental and vocal brilliance. We're absolutely thrilled to welcome the quite legendary George Benson. I'll tell you something. Have I had a job controlling them all day, waiting for you to come on? How are you?
Fantastic.
Good, and getting all set for a very busy period, I know. Now, tell me a bit about the new album. I hear it's mostly instrumental in this case.
Yeah, it is. We got in touch with some very incredible players. One is Joe Sample, and he really laid down some wonderful things for us in the album. He wrote some of the songs in it, and it was so strong as an instrumental album, we decided, you know, to lessen the vocal content. So, but we came up with some very powerful vocals when we did. You know, we have recorded Donny Hathaway's The Ghetto, and then I wrote a song.
We're going to hear later, actually.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. And then, as you said, then 2 other very strong vocals alongside that.
Yeah, we went back and found a Ray Charles tune called Come Back Baby. It's really strong. And I wrote a song called El Barrio, which is an answer to, it's The Ghetto in Spanish. We took it upstairs to Salsaville, so it's really nice. So
would you say that in terms of the instrumental part of it, this is very much going back to your roots?
Yeah, it gave me an opportunity to express myself as an instrumentalist in a large way, extended solos and things like that. Let the guitar shine a little bit.
So who taught you to play guitar originally?
My stepfather. When he met my mother, I think I was 7 years old. And the first thing electric I ever saw in my household was a electric guitar. He went and got his out of the pawn shop and plugged it in, and I saw this guitar on one side of the room, and I heard the noise coming out on the box on the other side. And I thought that was nothing short of a miracle, you know, going through that little, I thought the sound was going through that wire, you know, literally.
But did he have a particularly good way of playing? I mean, do you think you picked up a few little nuances from him?
He was actually a Charlie Christian fan. Charlie Christian was playing with the Benny Goodman Sextet, and they were very, very popular in their time. Benny Goodman was called the King of Swing, and he was actually a king in his own right in the music world. And he picked up a young fellow from Oklahoma City who became the world's greatest guitar player at the age of 22 years old, and his name was Charlie Christian. So my father was a big Charlie Christian fan.
So I'm trying to get the scenes. Okay, you've heard your first electric guitar. As the story goes, by 8, you were appearing in a nightclub. So what was your act? What were you doing? Well,
my hands obviously were too small for guitar at 7. And so my stepfather taught me to play the ukulele first. And it had 4 strings and it was small. As a matter of fact, he got it out of a garbage can somewhere and he fixed it up and glued it all back together, and he let me tinkle with that and taught me the first few chords. Well, I started going out on the street corners making, in one night, I used to make what my mother used to make in 2 weeks working in the hospital. Every night I made her full 2-week salary, and she didn't find that out for like several weeks. Yeah.
So you thought there's got to be something good in this. But I mean, well, it must have been very unusual, though, for a little boy of 8 to be going into clubs to play at that stage.
And it was very dangerous, too, because it was late at night. The club owner convinced my mother that I could work on weekends and still go to school, you know, because that was her fear, that I would, you know, not be able to go to school. They said, no, he can work Friday nights and Saturday nights. And so we did, until a policeman came in and broke the place up and took us all to jail, you know.
So then at 10, you've made a record. You had a manager even at 10. So yes. What happened to him?
I just spent a wonderful few days with him in Hawaii. He's very famous for bringing back Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Remember Brian Wilson had a problem, and no one could get him out of his mother's bedroom. But this man, a psychiatrist, he was my manager when he was 19 years old. I was 10.
And you were 10.
That's right.
It's extraordinary.
And so he became the top psychiatrist in America. And today he's still a top flight psychiatrist. And I spent several days with him in Hawaii about a couple of months ago.
Fantastic. So I mean, obviously he left you then at the age of 10 and went off to do other things. So did you go through this period of time or not feeling a has-been exactly at age 11, but, you know, you'd had a bit of success and then off you went.
That is true. My career was over at 11 years old. When my manager wanted to take me to California, he told my mother, I'm going to be big, and I'm going to take George with me, and he's going to be big too. And my mother said, not to California, you can't take him. You know, we lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 2,800 miles away. And so he left and went off on his career. And my career was effectively over at 11.
Anyway, we know the rest of the history from that point of view. But just bringing it back to the album and the fact that it has got a lot of jazz roots in it, were you ever at any time an absolute jazz purist? Or did you always have a mix of music going on in the background?
I came very close, let's put it like that. I made friends with all of the top names in the industry. I know everybody just about in the jazz world. I spent some time with them. Or I came through here in 1967, just before my career really broke open as a player in the jazz world. I came through here with Barney Kessel and Jim Hall, and the George Wein, you know, Newport Jazz All-Stars. Sarah Vaughan was on the gig, Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, and we had an incredible tour that year. So I was starting to make friends in a big way. And I was on the road with Duke Ellington and Aretha Franklin and Nina Simone, people like that. So they all began to take notice of me. So my career really broke open after that.
It's been a fantastic balance between, as you say, knowing all those pure jazz players and then having the commercial success alongside it. But now just bringing it right up to date. This weekend, this is where this wonderful variety of stuff that you're able to do will come to the fore, because you're going to the Waterfront Centre in Belfast with a big band and the orchestra. So again, a great variety of material, I'll assume you'll be able to do there.
Yeah, I think my experience in the music world has given me flexibility that is amazing, nothing short of amazing. Not because it's me, it's just something that happened, you know. I began to, when my career was over at 11, it picked back up again at 15 with my cousin. We started a singing group which became the most popular in the Pittsburgh area. We battled people like Smokey Robinson when they first came out of Motown. They were the first artists on Motown. And we used to battle them when they came through Pittsburgh, you know. We actually had a better group than they had, but we didn't have the originality, you know. I mean, the songs that, because he was such a great writer. And then after that, the organ became popular. Jimmy Smith became a power in the organ world, and I began to become associated with that in my late teens. Then I heard Charlie Parker.
And life changed.
Yeah.